just a quick review of the Febvao plantar fasciitis night sock. So originally when they came up with these things, it was a night splint. It was kind of like really like a big rigid boot that you'd put on, and you'd have to struggle to wear the thing all night. And then they started coming out with these night socks, or sometimes they call night splint socks, which I think was a definite improvement because these are something that you can definitely tolerate a lot more than a big old clunky boot at the bottom of your bed. So there's a lot of these out there. Let me go over a few features I really like about this particular one, just to give you a few things to think about. This has a rubber tread on the bottom, and which I really like because you're going to try and wear this all night or build up to it. And a lot of times people have to get up and go to the bathroom, and so you don't want a slippery sock and you don't want to fall. So here again, they've overcome that problem by putting a rubber tread on the bottom, which is I think really smart. The other thing is it has a really breathable material, which is not to be overlooked because if your foot starts to sweat, like a lot of times people's feet gets really sweaty, and then the material starts to pick up the sweat, then it starts to stink after a while. And then, you got this sweaty night splint sock that you have, and then you have to worry about washing it and getting into all that. It's best just to start out with a really breathable fabric to begin with. So I really like they have breathable material. The other thing is that it goes on easily, and it's soft, and there's no hard metal in it at all. So if you think you want to try one of these, I think this is a pretty good one because it's got a lot of features I like. Now the other thing to know is that there is no inflammation. If you have plantar fasciitis, there is no inflammation involved in plantar fasciitis, which is kind of a big myth going around. And so how do we know that for sure? Well, the only way you can prove that the plantar fascia is inflamed is if you take a little piece you take 100 people that have plantar fasciitis, you take a little piece of the plantar fascia out, you look at it under a microscope and you see, hey, do I see any inflammatory cells? Because if there's inflammation, there's going to be these little inflammatory cells floating around. So what do they find when they look at and that's called a biopsy, where they take a little piece of tissue out and look at it. So this book, the 5-minute plantar fasciitis solution, which I found, it basically has gone through all the studies, the biopsy studies, and what they found is that when they look at it under a microscope, they don't find any inflammatory cells. Okay, so there's no inflammation. So if you've been treating your plantar fasciitis, you've been treating the inflammation in your foot, and it hasn't gotten any better. That's probably why, because there isn't any. But the problem, really, what they do find is an incomplete healing process. So they find kind of cells. What they find is evidence of degenerative changes in the plantar fascia. So basically, this is a tissue in your foot that's being stressed, and it's trying to heal. And it can't heal. So this is an incomplete healing process that's going on in the absence of inflammation. What does help? Well, the night splint helps because it keeps it stretched. Now, stretching is really good because stretching helps realign the collagen fibers as they're trying to heal and reform and become stronger. This 5-minute plantar fasciitis solution, interestingly enough, it's actually shown to work in a lot of randomized controlled trials. It's a specific stretching technique, so it teaches you how to do that, but also the timing of when you stretch is really what makes all the difference. If you want to prove that something's effective in medicine, you do a randomized controlled trial. There's about 4 or 5 randomized controlled trials showing that this thing's effective. I know at least one of them has shown the technique to be like 90+% effective. So if you've been struggling for a while with plantar fasciitis, you might want to give that technique a try. There's lots of tools out there conservatively you can try without having to resort to surgery or cortisone shots. But if you're looking for a really soft night splint, night sock, I think this is a good one. So check it out.